The pain and the pleasure all come together. There's no reason why I can't sing. Alright, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Welcome to Otaku Chris is Talking. This is your weekly 7 Deadly Sins manga review. This is for chapter 225 titled The Ruined City. Now, first of all, I want to apologise. I can't sing. I'm not a singer. I'm a reviewer. There we go. Probably can't even review anyway. But yeah, awkward. Anyway, so welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I do regular manga, anime reviews for several contents, and I'm working on a new series which I'll be posting once a week, which will be an otaku related theme and with higher levels of editing and stuff like that. I'm currently working on it right now, so follow me on anime amino or on my Twitter to be notified for my next post, or just turn on that notification bell and then you'll just be told as well. But hey, anyways, this chapter, it starts off with Ordon Village. Now, I didn't really remember Ordon Village, so whilst doing this review, I had to kind of do my research and remember, why do I remember this? Why does this little kid remind me of somebody? At first, I was thinking, was it the kid that was in the second episode? I know this is a chapter review, but hey, I remember it from the second episode because I watched the anime first and then I went to read the manga. So yeah, I'm just gonna be straight up open with you. I was like, who is this kid? Why do I remember this kid? And it wasn't a kid from the second episode. It was actually in the manga. I think it focused on it more in the manga, and it's when Galtha was first kind of introduced, but we didn't know it was Galtha, and Galtha had a whole new personality. I think his name was, what was it, Armando or something like that? Yeah, I think his name was Armando or something. And it was just basically like, it focused on that part there. In the anime, it didn't really go heavily into Armando and the Pelia and everything, but in the anime, in the manga, it did. So it's one of those things where like the anime is going to have to adapt that so that when these kind of scenes happen in the next few series, hopefully there's a series 4 and all that, or yeah, series 4, then hopefully then they'll go into proper depth with it. But for you guys who are like, who kind of forgot, like myself, because obviously we're not going to remember every single thing that we read, especially if it was from years ago, Pelia saved Armando, aka Galtha, but around this point, Galtha didn't really have his memories, didn't have any emotions, so it was kind of like, cool, and then kind of just went on his way. Why this is really cool is because it starts off with Pelia and in Ordon Village, and the villagers are just getting fucked over. Literally, I think it was red demons, because the grey demons are stronger, and I think if it was a grey demon that hit Pelia, I think he'd be dead immediately, but it was a red demon. So, and the red demon was basically just kind of going around, kind of just starting shit in Ordon Village, and Peliot's father, well, the adopted father, was kind of like just letting shit happen, and Peliot was like, no, we can't let this shit happen, we need to kind of stand up for ourselves, you guys are just basically just being pussies. But obviously Peliot's a kid, and like his father's like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. But yeah, the red demon's heard, because the thing is, Peliot's father was like, what if they hear you? And all you hear is, well, all you read, I guess, is, what if we hear you? Alright, who said that? Alright, come here. And they just basically kind of just toying around with Peliot for a while, and it's kind of a piss take because you know they're pure evil, because they could have just killed him straight away, but no, they have to toy around with him, which is just so unfair. So they're toying around with Peliot, and Peliot's kind of like about to die, and at this point, all you see is Peliot's father kind of just thinking to himself, oh, please, I'm so sorry, I'm such a pussy. And Galtha, boom, appears, but he appears in his first, the way he looked at first, when he looked like Armando. But then, like, what's it called again? Peliot notices, it's kind of like, oh, you're really one of the 7 deadly sins. Thank you very much, blah, blah. Gives him a hug. And it's really nice because at this point here, you get to see the difference between Galtha currently now compared to the previous Galtha when he had no emotion, no soul, just didn't really give a fuck. And he didn't give a fuck, because even that's an emotion. He just didn't know to give a fuck. He just had no emotions at all. So this showed a nice level of character development between Galtha and his past and his memories, because he's holding, by him going there shows that he cares about his memories compared to before where he didn't give a fuck and he'd erase his memories. So I feel like now he can just kind of go about as Galtha instead of like the previous personality he had before. And yeah, so I thought that's a really nice part of the chapter. And whilst that was going on, you then see King then goes in and just fucking takes them out quite easily using Spirit Chastifold. I think it's the 5th form. He having a lot more control, and he's speaking to Hellbrum in the helmet, and Hellbrum's basically like, yo, you've got a lot more control of Chastifold. but King's kind of like, no, I don't really have full control. I like that because it shows like the still development and growth for King, because King obviously when he first was introduced in the series, he's the only one that had the sacred treasure, and technically he was one of the strongest ones there until we saw Merlin. So it's cool to see that, like, since people started getting stronger, then he kind of fell back a bit, and then he had the whole issue with Diane and all whatnot. Then he realized that he was actually weak and he wanted to get stronger. Now his strength has exponentially grown, so I like that. But we don't really always want the main characters to be the strongest all the time, because then there's nothing for us to kind of connect to. So I feel like these kind of moments there show that the author knows exactly what's kind of going on and how we as the readers want to read it, if that makes any sense. What the fuck am I talking about, Saitama? Anyway, so that was pretty cool. We then get a nice little bit with Ban, like he goes to attack one of the red demons. No, he doesn't go to attack one of the red demons. One of the red demons kind of sees him and goes to attack him, and Ban says something weird about wanting to die or something like that. But obviously, no, not like wanted to die. It's like, it's been a while since I've wanted to die, and I guess it's kind of like Ban's immortal, so he can't die. So I guess he was just kind of letting the hits hit him for the sake of it, which is really sadistic, and it kind of shows you how dark Ban is and where he's at in his state of mind and his mentality. And whilst he's thinking that, you see a small glimpse of Elaine saying Baka, like, so it's kind of like, oh, idiot. So it's kind of like it shows really where Ban is, and even though he's there, he's not really there. He could have taken out that red demon quite quick. He's fucking strong and super fast. He didn't need to tank it. So I feel like that was like something that showed quite a lot of just the darkness within Ban. So that was very nice. I like that part. I know it's kind of weird saying very nice to see Ban be fucking gloomy as shit, but hey, I don't care. And then we also then get to see, so we got to see, and then we got to see Meliodas for a little bit, but he was mostly just kind of having an internal monologue thinking about Elizabeth, and really just kind of, he's just stuck there. Oh, it then goes back to the boar's hut. And you see Escanor and Diane, they're basically passing blame on themselves, saying it's my fault if I didn't kind of push Elizabeth to remember her memory, she wouldn't be in this state. And Escanor's like, no, if I didn't want, if it wasn't for Merlin, Elizabeth wouldn't have gone to Merlin. So he thinks it's his fault. And one thing that's really cool is that Hawk actually is like the smartest one there, and says, guys, regardless of how you guys feel, the person hurting the most is Meliodas. So let's remember that. Let's try and like, don't dwell on it too much. Let's just focus on the mission ahead, which is to save Meliodas and Elizabeth, because he said that there is a way to save them. Obviously, once they're saved, I think that their cycles of reincarnation and death, well, not reincarnation and immortality will stop. So it'll be interesting to see how this is going to go about. I wasn't expecting for the chapter to end immediately on Zeldarus. Like, I was like, whoa. They're there. they got to Conrad. Zeldarus is right there. Meliodas is like, fuck this. Jumps. And then it's kind of like, Finn. I was like, whoa. Really, really, really brief chapter. I mean, it had the same amount of pages as a normal chapter, but it didn't feel like a filler, but it felt more like a setup chapter, if that makes sense. So it's like it was all building up to this whole Conrad thing. And but this chapter showed the growth of Galthar. It also showed like character development for Galthar and where he's at compared to where he used to be. So that's really cool as well. We got to see some the growth of, not growth, but the mentality of Ban, Escanor, Diane. It was a deep kind of chapter, and these kind of things are what shows that the 7 deadly sins are human. Even though they're not human, they're human, if you know what I mean. Like, they're OP as fuck, but they still care a lot. So this is one of the things that I really liked a lot. So really, really good chapter. I love these kind of things. It doesn't always have to be action, but hey, I love that. The art was looking good as usual. The background art wasn't as great as it can be, but the line work and just the detail on Ban when he was fighting the demons, the detail on Galthar when he was fighting the demon. So the detail in the fight scenes are always good. I just feel like maybe they could have done a bit more detail in the scenery, but hey, maybe they're gonna use this kind of all that time and budget to focus on next week's chapter, which seems like it should be freaking hype. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this chapter? I personally enjoyed it a lot. I liked the dynamic between all the different characters and how they all feel and where they're at mentally and the mental state and all that kind of stuff, and how this will affect them when they go into the next part, because we're going now into Zeldaris versus Meliodas versus Zeldaris. But obviously, there's going to be the whole Ban versus Mariskula. But I don't think he's going to... I think he said he wanted to stick out, but he's there. So maybe when they get there, he's going to just go back into the heart. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Do subscribe for future content for myself. There is a special video coming out soon next week, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Anime Amino on my Twitter will let you know when that's happening, or just turn on that notification button. Don't know why I said it like that. Have a great day, guys. Chris is talking. Peace.